The last 24 hours have witnessed some really important events, memorable events, here at the Lambeth Conference. Yesterday afternoon was a hearing for what's called the Windsor continuation process. And the proposal out of that process is that the Church should continue the moratoria on the consecration of gay or lesbian bishops, the blessing of same-sex unions, and any cross-border interventions between churches. There was a huge turnout. The room was beastly hot. People kept busting out of the room to get a breath of fresh air. The Episcopal Church turned out in force, and our story was well told, as well as our concern that the Church continues to ask gay and lesbian people to pay the price for our disagreements. Last evening, we heard the Chief Rabbi of Great Britain, Jonathan Sacks, make a wonderful presentation, really an oration about covenant. And he distinguished between covenants of faith, those with Abraham and Moses, and covenants of fate, the one with Noah. And a covenant of fate involves three things: the cherishing of human life, care for creation, and honoring of diversity. And Rabbi Sacks said, without this covenant of fate, no society can survive. And it's on the basis of the covenant of fate that other covenant of faith may be built. Many of us were very moved by his sermonic presentation. This morning, we had a plenary that involved both the bishops and spouses, and the subject was the abuse of power and the equality of men and women. It was about domestic and spousal abuse of women and children. It was quite wonderful. There was an address by Jenny Tapaw, the theologian from New Zealand, a wonderful drama weaving together several Bible stories involving women, and a Bible study of 2 Samuel, the rape of Tamar. Very, very moving morning. And this evening at evening prayer, the Archbishop of Canterbury gave his second presidential address, in which he outlined what he imagined that the two sides in our current controversy want the others to hear. To my ears, he was accurate and fair, but he also gave me pause, for he seemed to suggest that the only way out of our current dilemma was to ask gay and lesbian people once again to wait. And that will not, I'm sure you know, be acceptable to the Episcopal Church. So, an important speech, one that will certainly be discussed for several days to come. The highlight of the last day, the drama this morning by Riding Lights, the weaving together of biblical stories involving women, and particularly the retelling of the story of the woman with the flow of blood, and the story of the prodigal son with a daughter in place of the younger son. Again, profoundly moving. Stay tuned, there's more to come.